What if I told you your favorite Comedy Central shows vanished from your daily lineup? And the biggest reason isn't what you think. Remember when South Park's outrageous satire kept us glued to the screen week after week? When The Daily Show held water cooler conversations hostage, rolling out hot takes faster than we could process them? And who could forget the rapid-fire sketches of Key and Peele that felt like they were pulling cultural commentary straight from your group chat? That golden era of humor, centered around smart, biting, sometimes outrageous takes, defined what cable comedy could be and built Comedy Central into a major brand in the 2000s and early 2010s. But fast forward to now, and the question on everyone's mind is, what happened? How did a channel known for pushing boundaries lose its place at the top? Let's unpack it. In its heyday, Comedy Central invested heavily in original programming targeting millennials and Gen Z, rode on the wave of social sharing, and tapped into zeitgeist topics. They perfected appointment viewing in the form of classic weekly broadcasts. But once streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Disney+, and HBO Max turned comedy into on-demand content, the old cable model began to look outdated. Fans didn't wait for next week. They binged entire seasons in one sitting, made clips go viral on YouTube and TikTok, and moved on more quickly than linear TV could accommodate. That shift hit Comedy Central hard. Viewership dropped and so did ad revenue. With fewer eyeballs tuned in at scheduled times, it became harder to justify the expensive productions that once defined their programming slate. Attempts to pivot, like investing in streaming through Paramount Plus and Comedy Central's own digital initiatives, only partially made up for the losses. And while some shows continued, they lacked the cultural grip of their predecessors. Even South Park went full streaming in 2020, releasing episodes on HBO Max overseas, but that was more a symptom of the shift than a solution. Even big hits had to say goodbye to cable. At the same time, competition for comedic talent intensified. Writers, producers, and performers began jumping to streaming originals or subscription platforms that offered more creative freedom, bigger budgets, and global reach. Comedy Central's reliance on traditional models left it at a disadvantage when trying to retain or attract top-tier talent. The result? Fewer breakout hits. So what does the future look like for Comedy Central? First, they're embracing hybrid distribution. New content will drop on streaming first or simultaneously with cable. That shift acknowledges where audiences are spending their attention: online, mobile, and on demand. Second, expect more short-form content designed to live on social platforms. Think vertical videos, shareable clips, behind-the-scenes extras, and podcast tennis. Comedy Central has tested this approach with digital-first clips popular on YouTube channels and TikTok accounts, but scaling it is key. Third, niching down may be their next strategy, focusing on specific audience segments like political satire, LGBTQ+ comedy, or true crime parodies. By owning a comedy subgenre, they can stand out in a crowded market. There's also the international frontier, exporting formats and co-producing series with partners overseas to tap into non-US audiences hungry for sharp comedy in their language. Eventually, cross-genre collaborations could emerge, such as animated comedy documentaries or live event specials blending comedy with social commentary. But the network faces challenges: re-earning cultural relevance in an era flooded with content, regaining creative trust from talent, and navigating a media landscape where algorithms often decide what gets seen. Success won't come overnight. It'll require bold experimentation, better digital distribution, and more agile content creation. That said, the legacy is still powerful. Comedy Central has name recognition, a library full of success stories, and a built-in audience nostalgic for clever, topical humor. If they pivot wisely, lean into streaming, and create content that's meaningful for today's social climate, a renaissance could be just around the corner. But for fans, the next few years are bittersweet. The cable channel they grew up with may fade away, yet its DNA lives on in streaming hits, viral clips, and global comedy formats. Whether Comedy Central can rebuild depends on how well it understands modern comedy consumption, and how fast it adapts. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you want more media deep dives and cultural breakdowns. Your engagement helps us cover the biggest shifts in entertainment today.